I now call Lord Boylan.
My Lords, I shall be voting with the Government tonight. I shall do so conscious of the many concerns expressed by noble Lords, not least the concerns recently expressed by the noble Lord Cormac and earlier by the noble Baroness Lady Altman about the complete absence of evidence that the Government can produce concerning the ban on collective worship. But we are at a point where something must be done, and this is the only option in front of us. But I will make 2 points. The first is that this has now ceased to be fit matter for legislation. If you want to have a law to close pubs or to close restaurants, that's fine. It's nice and simple. But when you come to micromanaging the lives of individuals and families, as Part 2 seeks to do, with 10 principal exemptions and numerous sub-clauses, it is simply absurd. It is going to be incomprehensible to families and to police and enforcement authorities alike. Now, many of these exemptions are common sense, but you can't legislate for common sense. You can only ask people to exercise it. So if any of these measures, or any measures, are to be continued after the 2nd of December, they cannot be in this form. They need to be based on trusting people. Now, that sounds like Sweden. I've never been a vocal advocate, or indeed any advocate at all, for Sweden or its approach, but that is clearly where this legislation, these regulations tonight, are pointing. My second point is that COVID is a medical problem requiring medical solutions. Yet we have made it the prisoner of statisticians and geeks with models, and as the noble Lord Desai pointed out, geeks who can't agree on anything significant, except that a line pointing upwards will continue to go upwards if nothing prevents it from going upwards. Now, we've got no choice in practice, my Lords, but to rely on improvements in treatment and care to reduce mortality, as is already happening, as was pointed out by the noble Lord St John of Bletsoe. We cannot rely on a silver bullet, a vaccine that may be only partially effective, who knows, a test, trace and isolate system which, even if it tested and traced effectively, cannot persuade people to isolate. So, my Lords, today is the day, and November is a write-off. But we can't find ourselves in this position again. And I urge the Government to use this month to consider a reset in its approach and to lead us forward on the basis of trusting people and improving treatment and care.